float, keeping your lessons from sinking. We took this over to Orlando about a month ago, and the reason we presented this part is so many people put away their floating tools and never get them back. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that today, show you some lesson design tips, show you an example of a 8th grade, 9th grade language arts lesson. This is real content, and it can be replicated in the classroom if you like. I'll take requests and send it out to you, the presentation itself. Okay, so we're going to get started here. This is the title page. This is available in the gallery under keyword title page. It is an interactive title page, so what you can see here is your lesson objectives. If you press the tab here, you'll go to Teacher's Notes. Okay, so we're language arts, literary elements, grades 8 and 9, and your prior knowledge is to be familiar with descriptive language and synonyms. It's cross-curricular. That means we're going to do reading, writing, and social studies. And you see I have 2 students here with me today. You can wave, students. Okay, good. It's always good to have an audience that's participating with you, so maybe Marcia and Virginia will ask questions for you. Your questions can go along the line through the instant message or the Q&A in your live meeting. Okay, so and then we also have lesson notes here. This is pretty important because what we want with this new technology is we want our students doing other things besides watching the one student on the board. We want them reading, writing, speaking, listening, and viewing. Okay, that means the participants, your class is doing something besides just watching and texting and putting their heads down at the desk. You want them to have their journals open, have them actively involved, use the hats to have people come to the board. Just keep it active, and interactive active is what it's all about with this. Okay, so we have 6 keywords to discuss today. These are going to be the words that you'll be responsible for, and I'm pretending that you are my classroom, my students, and I'd like you to take notes of these words as I tap on the book.
Thrust.
Thrust.
Peculiar.
All right. Good class.
Fiercely.
Ascertain.
Barbarous.
And that's
Sagacious.
Sagacious, the hardest one. Okay, so we have our words. Now, if we wanted to use those, we could take them and put them out here and move them around if we needed to. See that? Since we are 8th graders and 9th graders, we are not going to put them in alphabetical order. We're going to assume that you know how to do that. Then we'll go on to the next page, which is our content, our main literary piece for this lesson. And it's Moby Dick by Herman Melville. And this, I'm going to show you where I got it and all of that. But let's look at some of the floating tools here. You'll see that I launched the floating tools. And one of my favorites here is just to be able to highlight things. If I want to change the red to green, I can do that and save the tool properties. And now, let's think of some words that we already know and highlight them in green. I think that this word scuttle we may know. And what about palpable? We may know that one. Now, we're going to change that highlighter back, and we're going to go to yellow and save tool properties here. What about some words that you might have a question about? Is there any words that you may have a question about?
Sagacious.
Okay, sagacious. And that is, what line is that?
It's the 4th line down.
Okay,
the first
there
word.
it is. Okay, so we're just highlighting that. And for the sake of time, we're just going to move on. And we're going to change this. Can you guess what color this is going to be?
Red.
It's going to be red, okay? Red means stop, wait a second, I don't know it yet. Okay, so I see a word that I don't know. It's called ascertaining. So I'm going to just highlight that in red. And then we'll move on. Okay, that's just one way to use the floating tools.
Right.
Okay, and just remember while we're doing this, I'm trying not to touch the board, pretending this is just a screen, and I'm also using the slate to do my annotations, but I don't need either device. I could just go to my laptop, shine it on the wall, and do everything with just the software. The power, again, is in the software. If you ever come to our class or seen the notebook software, you know it's free to everybody that has a device on campus, and you don't need the actual devices to use the software. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to go back to my select button here, and I'm going to open up after the full screen. Always present in your full screen mode if you can. Now I'm going to open up the Spotlight, which is right there. I'm going to get it ready first for my class just by doing this. Just dragging it, so it's going to take up 2 lines, so we can read it 2 lines at a time. And now I'm going to start the audio.
Moby Dick. Oh, whale. By Herman Melville.
Okay? So that's one of the powerful tools in the floating tools. And let's look at one more, the screen shade. You guys know about the screen shade, I know. But look at how this could be used. I can continue my audio.
Soon, that peculiar odor, sometimes to a great distance given forth by the living sperm whale, was palpable to all the watch. Nor was any matter of surprise when, after inspecting the compass, and then the dog vane, and then ascertaining the precise bearing of the odor as nearly as possible, Ahab rapidly ordered the ship's course to be slightly altered and the sail to be shortened.
Okay, there's not really any other tools that I would use for this piece of text, so let's move on to the next page. Okay, so this page is titled Floating Tools and the Web, and I want to show you that you don't have to have Notebook open to use the floating tools. You can just use the web. Okay, so here we are with the Lit2Go. You want to write that down. Lit2Go is the USF Literature Bank, and it's copyright-free material. You'll see here the date, 1851, so 100 years or more copyright-free. And I'm going to scroll down from here. And you'll see when I scroll down that there is the downloadable MP3 here. You can view text as a web page. You see the word count, so 3,538 words. It's pretty lengthy just for that one chapter. And you can get a PDF from there too. Now the MP3, if you notice that length, again, that's 20 minutes. My audio was not 20 minutes. We took the audio, we downloaded the full MP3, and we put it in Audacity, and we chopped it up to where we needed it. Okay, let me show you what it looks like as View Text as web page. Clicking here, and you'll see, again, look at all the text here. I don't think I'd like to copy that into Notebook. I just wanted to copy the first paragraph. So a couple things I could do there. I could highlight the entire text for that one paragraph. I could right-click on it and copy and paste it into Notebook if I needed to. So I would make a new page here, and again I right-click and a paste. And so my text will magically appear, and then I can use that text in the Notebook. So I went from Lit2Go, straight from Lit2Go, copy into Notebook, and now I can use all my tools up here. I don't have to have a board, and I don't have to have a slate. I just need my computer and the projector. Okay, so let's move on. We'll go back to the Lit2Go website, and just know that those floating tools here can be pulled out on the internet and used again. So I didn't have to put everything nice and neat into Notebook. I could just use the floating tools on the fly, just like that. Okay, the same thing. All the annotations that I did, I could do that. I could use the happy marker if I needed to. And then we can read paragraphs together bulleting each paragraph. We can use all kinds of things and all kinds of tools on the web. That goes for Hardcourt, your coolmath.com, any website, any document that you have, bring those floating tools out. While we're talking about those floating tools, I want to show you how to hide them, how to bring them back, how to exit them, how to bring them back if they're just in the trenches, way down deep in your computer. I want to show you how to get those back also. So, again, I'm going to show you down here, if you can see in my icon, one more thing. This can be moved over to any side you want and close like that. Now, if I want that tab to completely disappear, I go down to my Lifesaver, we call it, and I hide floating tools here. And you'll see that the tab has completely disappeared. If I want it back, I go back down to my Lifesaver, and then I show floating tools, and the tab reappears. Now, some of your teachers may have exited completely. So if they close this out, the Lifesaver is going to disappear. If I exit, you see the Lifesaver disappears completely. So let's go through the steps to get that back. We're going to start. We're going to All Programs. From there, we're going to find Smart Technologies. Quite a list I have there. Smart Technologies, and we'll go to Smart Notebook, Smart Product Drivers, and then hit Smart Board Tools, and your icon reappears down here. Okay, so we're all set on that, and then from there, that floating tool tab comes up automatically, so we're good. Okay, so we're going to continue. We're just about done. We've looked at the text. We've worked with it. We've highlighted some vocabulary words. Again, when you're doing presentations for audiences outside your classroom, even in your classroom, it's important that you do your citations because it's going to train your students the proper way to make presentations and keep things copyright intact. Okay? So again, one of our favorite websites was the USF, Lit2Go, and this is the direct link to that passage. And I really hope that this will inspire you guys to invite us out to help train you guys, show you some new tips. And thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.